What up, Dokkanners? We have new quest stages coming to global. Area 32 stages 1 through 4 will be coming to global very, very soon. The main takeaway from this is not the fact that we're getting new stages, but more so that we are going to start the road to acquiring the LR Trunks and Broly. This is a free-to-play LR, similar to the LR Vegito Blue. This is a unit that you will be able to obtain strictly from quest mode, utilizing the stages from quest mode to get medals and whatnot. So this will be starting on global probably in a week, something like that. So, by the way, for the 99% of you who don't know the story to quest mode, first of all, I don't blame you. I don't either. But Jay Fanta has a full story narration of Dokkan. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, make sure to jump over to Jay Fanta's channel because he does the full thing. He goes through the pain of doing that so that you don't have to, because let's face it, the story is boring. To take down the powerful enemies appearing one after the other, Trunks and company were training at Kami House. It was then that Raditz suddenly showed up. Raditz, who came for help, asked them to lend a hand and face an enemy together. After knowing that this enemy was after the Saiyans, Trunks and company agreed to team up with Raditz only for now. Great. You know, I can't wait for the screenplay to be written. I can't wait for this to be a movie. So this is going to be giving us the first step, just the SSR Trunks. Now, back when JP had received this first Trunks, there was a lot of speculation regarding this because when you take a look at the unit details, under categories, it's just time travelers. Now, if it's supposed to just be a Trunks, then it would also have Vegeta's family, hybrid Saiyans, other things that would have to do with Trunks. But since it only had time travelers, people started wondering, what could this mean? A lot of people thought maybe this could mean, you know, Trunks and the protagonist could be coming into the game. We don't really have like a face for it, not like Legends with Shallot, but you know, something like that was approaching. But eventually we learned that it is going to be Trunks and Broly. And when the second step had happened, people thought that the third step would end up being something like Trunks, Raditz, Broly, Paragus, whatever, like all the different possible like evil Saiyans that you could think of. It was going to be like an ultimate alliance with all of those different Saiyans. It ended up just being Trunks and Broly, but still, it's pretty cool because this is a what if in the context of Dokkan's quest mode, so it was pretty dope. And actually, the LR is pretty cool. Now, in terms of the time frame, for JP, this process started August 6th, where they got the first copy, the SSR Trunks. Then, which took place, by the way, in the right here, took place in the Trunks Dokkan Festival celebration. So things are happening right on schedule for global because they got this about halfway through the Trunks Dokkan Fest. Then the second step was Trunks and Broly, who dropped on JP 2 months later, and that was after worldwide download had concluded, and it was also during the 17 and 18 Dokkan festivals. So you can see where this is going. We are on pace to get a similar sort of trajectory in terms of the celebrations. So this was about like a week into the Android 1718 Dokkan Festival. They got this unit. And then finally, to finish out the LR, this unit dropped December 3rd. So just about a month ago. And this ended up happening in between Dokkan festivals. Because for JP, during the Heroes time, there is actually a point where Heroes is their only celebration that they have. It's not like a parallel celebration to something else like on Global. So during that time where JP was just on the Heroes hype train, that is when they got it, because it was in between the end of, what was it, this one? Yeah, wait, November 22nd. Yeah, this one right here. So right here, this is November 22nd to December 7th, being December 3rd that this dropped. That's when they got it. So that means that it took them about 4 months. Now for global, it is not going to take 4 months, because if we look at the timeline, January, we're obviously in January right now, Trunks has just dropped. So then the following month should be Android 1718, which occupies the entire month. Then after that, we have the Gohan Piccolo pre-Saiyan Day. Saiyan Day will then happen. And then going into April, that is when we get the dual Dokkan Festival, Goku and Herdiger. So now this isn't when JP received the Dokkan or the free-to-play LR, but for them, it dropped during Heroes. So the only other celebration that happens adjacent to Heroes would be the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, or if we go backwards, it would be this one, which is Gohan Piccolo. So either way, it's not going to be taking 4 months. It will take 3 months or less. It'll either drop during this celebration or it'll drop during this celebration. I am inclined to predict it'll happen during this one. So in 4 months, we will have the LR. Now, is this LR worth it? Yes, because this is a free-to-play unit, and this is a unit that also is given really cool, unique equips. When it comes to these sorts of like free-to-play units, Dokkan has been making strides to make them more viable in the equip sense. You could argue they could just make it better in terms of the build, but for a free-to-play, this actually isn't all that bad. And I will say, that one thing about this unit that is very interesting is that it makes you really think about your rotations. So let's just quickly go over what the unit does. This unit is a time traveler's key plus 3, 80% lead. You know eventually this unit will be receiving an EZA. Raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to the enemy, raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes mega colossal, and greatly lowers defense. We look at the passive, key plus 4 attack and defense plus 100. Randomly changes key spheres, a type of key sphere into rainbow when in slot 1 or 3 at the start of the turn. So if you want to get this, you have to enter the turn in one of these 2 positions, which means you can't mess around with the rotations on that turn. It has to be done on the prior turn that the unit appears. So if the unit appears turn 3, several turns before, then that will be one instance where it works. Or if the unit is in slot 2 on the previous turn, then the unit will then be moved into slot 3. So you have to now plan ahead, which one could argue we don't need to have more reasons to think, but you know what? Dokkan is a tactical game when you consider all the different factors, passives, standbys, HP thresholds, limits, all these different things. This is definitely something that gives you a more tactical look at the game. So I do actually very much like this. I'm sure in my runs with the unit, I will make stupid mistakes where I forget about this fact, but since this is the first of its kind, I think that a lot of people will feel this way. Actually, you know what? I don't know if it's exactly the first of its kind. I think we talked about this before, and I just remembered. I believe Metacooler has a similar makeup. Let me see. If we go to Wicked Bloodline. Okay, this is the JP version of Dokkan Info. One of these guys, don't they have the same thing? If we go to their EZA. No. I could have sworn somebody else had something like this. Maybe they don't, but regardless, it's going to make you think, which is pretty cool. Additional key plus 2 per rainbow key sphere obtained. Additional attack plus 20% per rainbow key sphere obtained. Launches 2 additional attacks, which has a medium chance of becoming a super attack. High chance to perform a crit. An additional attack and defense plus 40% when launching a super attack. Attack and defense plus 31% and damage reduction plus 8% for each super attack performed during the turn. So that combined with damage or with defense boosting and with some really, really busted unique equips that we'll talk about in a second, this unit can actually be a pretty decent source of both damage and protection. And these are the categories that we've got here. Obviously, none of these are conducive to just Trunks, and it's because we have Trunks and BROLY. Active skill, key plus 20, attack plus 60. Attacks will connect with the enemy for 1 turn, guaranteed to hit when HP is 40% or lower or on turn 6. So there you go. Let's take a look at the equips. So here are the equips that JP players were able to obtain for the Trunks and BROLY. You've got a bunch of stat boosters. You've got defense. You've got offense. One of the best builds that JP players have been discussing is that max defense is the way to go. You combine that with the stat boosting that you've got here, the launching of 2 attacks that give you more additional super possibilities. You've also got built-in critical and damage reduction for each super attack. So if you go full max defense boosting, you can actually get a pretty significant boost. And also the starting defense is at 14,000. So you'll get a pretty significant chunk extra defense here. So these are all of the bronze ones. There's a ton of EX, or not EX, but there's a ton of skill orbs to choose from, but these are unique equips. When it comes to unique equips for some of these units, they actually go above and beyond what you're normally used to because they're very much exclusive. So for example, the last quest mode LR is the Vegito. So this is one of the builds that a lot of people will use. This is my favorite because you have a nice stat boosting defense boost on the silver side, the gold side plus additional. You could even, I think there's a level 8 defense boost on this guy here. Is it level 5 or level 8? Okay, I think I'm thinking of the anniversary units. Yeah, so this is for Vegito. It's only level 5, but still pretty significant. Look at this dude's defense. He's got 6,300 defense. His attack and defense 19,490, 15,194, and he raises attack and defense considerably. So he is pretty much built up the way that I would want. Another unit that when it comes to like the free-to-play stuff, when it comes to unique equips, we've got the Super Saiyan 3, who is right here. He also has some pretty cool equips, but for him, I focused more so on like additionals and criticals. I think he does have some stat boosting ones. I'll have to look into it. Yeah, is it this one? No. Let me actually check on Dokkan Info here. Dokkan Info has a really cool little like database here where it shows all the unique equips. Here we go. Yeah, Super Saiyan 3 Goku. It shows the combo. There it is. Yeah, you got like stat boosting over there. You got stat boosting over here. And then you got more stat boosting up top. But I wanted to give more additionals and crits. So anyway, back to the Trunks and Broly. You got a ton of good stuff to choose from. It's obviously going to involve a lot of grinding because it's all about the drop rates. And so what I typically do is I will either roll for like the best possible skill orbs that I will be using for sure, or I'll just keep going until I get all of them. But regardless, it really just depends on how much time you're willing to spend on this. If you are somebody who link levels and you have a ton of incredible gems, you are going to be fine when it comes to acquiring and maxing out this unit, because this unit is obtainable from stage 3 of 33 or area 32. But then in order to get the medals to awaken the unit, you are going to need to spend incredible gems. I believe you need like over 300 medals to awaken the unit from its SSR to TUR, and then same thing for the TUR to LR. So this is how much you need for the first one, and then this is how much you need for the second one. Yeah, both of these medals I believe are obtainable from the Baba shop. Does it show? Well, okay, doesn't show here, but you need 318 for each, and then however many more runs you're going to need to just, you know, get the equips. So it is worthwhile. Would you call this content? Maybe, maybe not. Farming out a unit over and over and over doesn't really seem like the most compelling thing to do, but hey, global players, we are going to have to find ways to keep ourselves entertained, because like I said, things are not going to be picking up until we get to maybe Golden Week, because then the anticipation will be, you know, increasing for the upcoming anniversary. We will be learning very, very soon what the anniversary is going to be like. So when Global jumps into part 2 during what is hopefully going to be Carnival Omega Shenron, by the time we start, you know, engaging in the most difficult event in the game, JP will then jump into the 9-year anniversary, where they will then get the newest, most difficult stages in the game, and we will most importantly know exactly what is coming up. That should help a lot of people who are very much bored with Dokkan right now hold on to a glimmer of hope that, you know what, it will be worth subjecting myself to virtually nothing for the next few months, because once we hit 9-year anniversary, it is going to be hype down here. Man, July. Even scrolling through all this makes me sad. But then we also got Golden Week and Sunday. But anyway, there you go. That is the content coming up for Global. Get excited. Woo! We are not going to be getting the LR until April. Yeah. How's that for excitement? Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the LR Trunks and Broly. Do you think the unit is worth picking up? Will you be farming out the unit in, you know, multiple capacities, fully rainbowing the LR, the TUR, the SSR? What is your approach to farming unique equips for these types of units? Do you do it? Do you not do it? Do you try to get multiple versions of the various equips? Let me know your approach, your thoughts, all of it in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let you know I'm going to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned and remember to Dokkan responsibly.